What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update, as well as related news and the virus. New details for you guys in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos, and hit the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. Thank you for your support. Dr. Fauci predicts a new virus surge among lawmakers after the Capitol riot, says that the lawmakers packed together to get away from the rioters was like a subway car during rush hour. At least 3 different congressional members have already tested positive from one single room where they were huddled together. And we have new reports now that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are pushing to have mandatory masks in the Capitol. And if not, there will be fines of anywhere from $500 to $2,500 on the second offense, and possibly $1,000 per day for not wearing a mask in the Capitol because of this, what just happened. Dr. Fauci says, of course, when you have people in close indoor settings without social distancing or mask on, there are likely going to be more infections. Quote, I'm just going to stick with by what I have said maybe 5,000 times in the last several months. The recommendation is that you wear masks uniformly, you keep physical distance, and you avoid congregate settings, particularly indoors, and wash your hands as often as you possibly can. Any deviation of that by anybody is creating a risk for acquisition or a spread of infection. It doesn't matter who you are. Now, this comes as a new set of what doctors are calling super strains of virus mutations. There's multiple different new strains of the virus out in the United States and across the world, although the amount of the second and third strains in the US are very, very small. The problem is that is exactly how the first virus strain started, and obviously we know now that that has spread to tens of millions of Americans. We're still near daily all-time highs of new cases and new deaths in the United States. We're now nearing 23 million people that have tested positive for the virus. We're coming up on nearing 10% of all people in the United States having caught the virus at one point or another, and also nearing 380,000 deaths in the United States. And the problem is the trend here of new cases and new deaths continues to spike, and we continue to see new highs every few days. Reporting is always down on the weekends and on Mondays, but basically during the week, every week, we're starting to see new highs every single week. And the problem is the more people that have it, the more it spreads, and it's kind of an exponential effect. Now, as the US is trying to ramp up new vaccinations, there's still less than 3% of the United States people that have been vaccinated, and there's already starting to be questions that experts cannot answer yet, like, can you still spread COVID if you have been vaccinated? And scientists say that they don't know if you can still spread the virus after being vaccinated, and that people with the vaccine still need to take precautions such as mask and social distancing. Mike Pence, who has been social distancing himself from the president, he has not spoken to him since the protest, says that he will go to Joe Biden's inauguration, even though President Trump said he won't. And Mike Pence also promises governors a smooth transition on the coronavirus task force to the new Biden administration, coming in now in about 7 days. Vice President Mike Pence called it one of his greatest honors of his life to play a, quote, small role in managing the pandemic response, according to a call, and he was committed to a, quote, seamless transition. Now, the Biden team is already working on the third stimulus package that we're expected to get the more and more details of it here within the next 24 to 48 hours. Some details are already starting to come through on the third stimulus package, as reportedly the Biden administration has already started to brief Congress on the third stimulus package with the third stimulus check that is expected to either be a $2,000 stimulus check or a $1,400 stimulus check, which is called a plus-up check, which basically adds $1,400 to the $600 second stimulus check to give you $2,000, but it could be a $2,000 on top of the $600. We're also starting to hear early reports, and this is honestly goes with exactly what I've been saying, that for the first stimulus package and this next stimulus check of $2,000 or a plus up $2,000, that they're going to try to pass this with bipartisan support. There's another reason why Joe Biden wants to do this is because Joe Biden is kind of all about the Congress proceedings and showing bipartisan support. He wants to be able to pass this with both Republican and Democratic support. That's kind of a show of like strength going into his new presidency, that he's willing to work with Republicans even if they have control of the Senate and could power through some deals with the reconciliation process where they won't need any Republicans at all and they'll only need 51 votes in the Senate, which they will have. In the case of a 50-50 tie, they can vote with the vice president with the 51st vote. So Joe Biden is already starting to say he doesn't want to do that, well, at least at first. He wants to get this third stimulus check and third stimulus package pushed through with bipartisan support. He doesn't want to make it look like he's strong arming the Republicans. And honestly, I don't really think he'll need to. If you remember that $2,000 stimulus check, that $2,000 stimulus check passed the U.S. House of Representatives with a super majority of about 2/3 of the entire Democrat and Republican House. They had 44 different Republicans, as you can see here on the screen, that actually voted yes to the $2,000 stimulus check, the Cash Act. And the interesting thing is that was a much bigger package than Mitch McConnell wanted. The Cash Act was a $2,000 check for adults. It was a plus up check, $1,400 for adults, but it was also $1,400 plus up for children, but a full $2,000 for college children, children ages 17 and 18, and adult dependents would have got the $2,000. They had 44 Republicans that voted for that. That was a very big check because it wasn't just for adults like Mitch McConnell's bill. Mitch McConnell's bill was just $1,400 for adults and nothing extra for children and nothing extra for adult dependents. So seeing that they got 44 Republicans in the House to vote yes on that larger stimulus bill, the Cash Act, the $2,000 Cash Act, Joe Biden sees that Republicans are willing to vote for this. So I think at least for the first stimulus check and the next stimulus package, that they might not go too overboard with it because they can pass it with some Republican support, get this one out here within the next coming days, week or two. Okay, get this done. And then also, then when they work on the next one, if Republican support isn't there, then they can start working on pushing those through with the Reconciliation Act, where they won't need any Republican votes at all. They can pass it in the House and the Senate without any Republican votes through the Reconciliation Act, where you would only need 51 votes instead of 60 in the Senate. Now, there's a limited number of times they can do this, and the details are a little gray. I've heard before that it was one time per year per subject matter, but that's a little gray area, the subject matter part. We know that both Republicans and Democrats have used this in the past multiple times. Most notably, the Republicans used it for their Donald Trump tax cuts, the Trump tax cuts, back in, I think it was 2017, the first year of President Donald Trump's presidency. Always on the first year of a new presidency, you see the new president come in and try to push their agenda. The agenda for Biden is basically more stimulus and get everybody vaccinated, aka crush the virus. So those are going to be the two things that Biden's going to want to do, and you're going to see that Biden's already said, literally within his first few days, he's going to be passing executive orders. And it's going to be very interesting to see what we see there. Executive orders and a stimulus package. We're going to be hearing more details of this third stimulus package here basically within the next upcoming hours, as possibly as early as tomorrow. Now, we already have early reports that the Biden administration is possibly going to be seeking a higher unemployment boost money, higher than $300 per week for unemployed workers, and also an extension past the March deadline. The unemployment boost right now is $300 per week and will only go until the middle of March. The Biden administration wants to increase that from higher than $300 per week and also longer than March. As you can see here on this graph here, we have the list of states here that are already sending out unemployment. The ones that are already paying are in green here, and the ones in blue are paying some people, and the ones in purple have a date but haven't started yet at paying. For example, here, Ohio is January 19th, which would be a week from now. You should be getting retroactive pay for these states that have not paid yet. Florida being another big state that is notable. Virginia, January 14th. Wyoming, January 16th. South Dakota, January 13th. Iowa, January 15th. You can see on this map here there's still about maybe a third or 40% of the United States that has not paid out their unemployment benefits yet. The other thing, too, is that although these green states are all green, not all people are getting their unemployment money yet. Let me know down below if you have not received your $300 per week unemployment money. And also let our viewers know if you received any back pay of that. Did you receive maybe 2 weeks at once for a $600 in your first payment of the $300 per week? The one thing we do know is this next stimulus package from the Biden administration is going to be basically adding money for everything: unemployment, more mortgage and rental assistance, more PPP money, more EIDL money, more money for stimulus checks, more money for unemployment. I mean, more money for vaccines. We're going to basically have a whole nother package that's going to basically have money for everything. There's definitely going to be money for states and cities in this package, which is basically going to have some money come back around to you guys in the form of mortgage and rental assistance. This will be in addition to the $25 billion that passed in the second stimulus package. There'll be another round of rental assistance in the third package. Now, the second stimulus package rental assistance, where they could pay your rent for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, is not quite reaching the states yet. I will keep you updated on these programs that are basically going to give you rental assistance to pay multiple months of your rent on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon on. New videos come out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and sometimes 11 p.m., which is what this video is. I will keep you updated on all of those topics. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this bottom video is our second YouTube channel, The Daily Dirt, where my wife just hosted a video. Click one of those to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.